It's been 6 days and no trace of 14-year-old Scotty Morris. An update from Eaton Police.
Body cam footage released after a fatal shooting in southern Indiana just a few weeks ago. How this will play a role in the investigation.
What dating app is becoming part of a new public health initiative?
And Ball State University is celebrating Women's History. Find out how they're raising awareness.
Rain, go away, but I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot of it along this boundary. Timing and amounts and when we'll see the sun, all in my full forecast coming up.
Delaware County's only live television newscast from Ball State University's Unified Media Newsroom. You're watching NewsLink Indiana.
Good evening and thanks for being with us. I'm Anna Chalker.
And I'm Alex Almanza. You know, today was really just a kind of a teaser of what we're going to get the rest of the week. Just gloomy.
Like Ryan said, rain's not going away anytime soon. Let's go ahead and check with him for a first look at weather.
Well, so far, so good. Quiet and nice. 53 in Muncie. We're still actually at our high for today, but look at that boundary. That's been the focus for some heavier showers. Just sliding on back to our north, but that's going to change as this picture becomes much less clear as we work our way through tonight into tomorrow rather. It will be warm, but it will be quite rainy, and we'll be detailing some strong storm chances as well as more heavy rain along the way. And when will we see the sun? All that and more in my full forecast later on.
Ryan, thank you. 14-year-old Scotty Morris is still nowhere to be found 6 days after his disappearance.
Yeah, and Eaton police say the search is still not over.
In a Facebook post from the Eaton Police Department today, EPD is working, quote, side by side with Indiana State Police, the Delaware County Sheriff's Department, Department of Natural Resources, as well as the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. Officers are following leads at this point of the investigation. K-9 team searches are still taking place.
And a vigil is being held at Grace and Mercy Gospel Church in Eaton tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Of course, NewsLink Indiana will have full coverage on our show tomorrow night at 9 as the search for Scotty Morris continues.
Indiana police released body cam video yesterday of police fatally shooting an armed man earlier this month. The 5 officers involved are on administrative leave as the incident is being reviewed. Madeline Carter has the details of what led up to the shooting, and we want to warn you, viewer discretion is advised.
Drop the gun! Drop the gun!
Body camera video sheds new light on the deadly shooting of a military veteran who police say fired a gun into the air and pointed it at Jeffersonville police officers. The footage released Tuesday shows the exchange between 44-year-old Robert Atkins and 5 Jeffersonville police officers on March 9th at the East Lawn Arms apartment complex. It was around 7 p.m. when police got the initial 911 call.
There's a gentleman downstairs, and I think he's on drugs real bad, and he's standing outside of our hallway looking out the door with a pistol.
Jeffersonville police responded to the area within minutes and spoke with a witness who saw the suspect. That's when the situation escalated, and police say Atkins fired his gun. 2 minutes and 13 seconds later, 3 officers fired back, hitting Atkins at least twice.
Keep your hands where we can see them, buddy.
Keep your hands up, dude. Keep your hands up. Keep your hands up.
You can see the firearm circled there on the ground next to the suspect.
The officers began medical aid on Atkins before paramedics took him to the hospital. 3 days later, on March 12th, Atkins died. Jeffersonville police say the 5 officers involved were Aaron Olson, Sean DeArc, Hunter Powell, Mike Mashinsky, and Seth Christian. Olson, DeArc, and Powell fired their weapons at the suspect. On Tuesday, Chief of Police Kenny Kavanaugh said the shooting was justified and that Atkins posed imminent danger to the 5 officers. He believes they did everything they could to resolve the situation peacefully.
This outcome is not what we wanted, to be able to have to engage and use deadly force. It's not what we're looking for. But if we have to do that, we have to be able to answer those questions to the forefront, what the department stands upon, how the department's doing that, and the relationship with our community. There's an expectation, and this is here what we're doing today.
Well, the man accused of attacking former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's husband in their San Francisco home will go to trial in October. David DePop appeared before a federal judge today. The trial is set for October 23rd. Now, DePop faces federal and state charges for a brutal attack on Paul Pelosi last October. In an interview with San Francisco police after the incident, DePop said that he broke into the home to hold Nancy Pelosi hostage. Now, she was in Washington at the time, and DePop has pleaded not guilty to all charges.
Classes are still at a halt in the nation's second largest school district, Los Angeles. This as a union representing about 30,000 school workers continues a massive 3-day strike. The Service Employee International Union Local 99 represents school custodians, cafeteria workers, bus drivers, and other student services staff. They want increased wages and better work conditions. They went on strike Monday after nearly a year of failed negotiations with the LA Unified School District. The union says workers' average salary in the district is $25,000, and many school employees have to work additional jobs to make ends meet.
Well, the Federal Reserve raised interest rates today, just days after the fallout from 2 U.S. bank failures. Several expected the hike to be as low as things stabilize in the financial markets. Mike Valerio has the latest from today's announcement and what that means for consumers.
The U.S. Federal Reserve raised interest rates by 25 basis points Wednesday. It comes just 10 days after the Biden administration took emergency actions to stifle the fallout from 2 bank failures.
History has shown that isolated banking problems, if left unaddressed, can undermine confidence in healthy banks and threaten the ability of the banking system as a whole.
While at the same time, inflation continued to show signs of easing last month.
They're between a rock and a hard place. They're very concerned if they don't do enough, it'll look like they're not fighting inflation, which has consequences. If they do too much and affect the economy too much when banks are a little bit rocky, they could cause a little more trouble in confidence in the banking system.
Since last March, the Fed has pushed interest rates higher to make borrowing more expensive and cool spending. Annual inflation was down to 6% in February from a 40-year high of 9.1% last June. The Fed's target inflation rate is 2%. The labor market remains strong, keeping labor costs high for companies. Potential future Fed rate increases will continue to push borrowing costs and purchase prices higher for consumers.
Inflation remains too high, and the labor market continues to be very tight. Price stability is the responsibility of the Federal Reserve. Without price stability, the economy does not work for anyone.
In Los Angeles, I'm Mike Valerio.
In your international headlines, a brazen and deliberate strike aimed at killing civilians. That's what Ukraine is calling a Russian attack today in an apartment building as people were going about their days. One person was killed and dozens were hurt, including children. Searchers are looking for anyone who may be trapped, and it's another reminder of the suffering and dangers people in Ukraine face day in and day out.
Well, a severe sandstorm has swept across Beijing and several northern provinces in China, blanketing the region in thick clouds of orange dust and sending air pollution soaring to hazardous levels. That's what state weather authorities said today. Now, dense clouds enveloped the Chinese capital. Particles of pollution that can enter through the nose and travel to the lungs have exceeded monitoring charts. Now, that's according to the Beijing Ecological Environment Monitoring Center. Weather authorities in Beijing warned people not to go outdoors and have asked drivers to stay vigilant because of low visibility. Now, the current sandstorm originated from Mongolia on Tuesday and gradually moved towards central and eastern China, according to Chinese weather experts.
Coming up, certain contraceptives are being linked to life-threatening disease, how researchers discovered this risk.
And a popular dating app is fighting the spread of HIV. Find out how after the break.
I love you.
Prescription drug pricing points to corporate
Freedom of the press is about your right to know.
and Clark sheer athleticism.
It's about your right to be informed. Today, there are real threats to press freedom
Reaching residential areas.
and your right to know about the world around us. We must protect our right to know, no matter what kind of news is important to you.
Great question.
before it's too late. Understand the threats. ProtectPressFreedom.org.
The central and midwestern U.S. averages more than 850 tornadoes each year, and lately, the number of floods has been rising in the region too. So chances are, there will be more twisters and floods near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are, you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
Hey guys, it's me, Isabella Gomez, filling in for Smokey Bear because he's got more to say than just...
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Like, if you're outside enjoying a barbecue, don't let a hamburger distract you from fire safety. Make sure you aren't dumping your hot coals or ashes onto the ground because that could start a wildfire. So take wildfire prevention seriously and let's save the world one day at a time. Juntos con Smokey Bear, podemos hacerlo. Go to smokeybear.com to learn more about wildfire prevention.
Welcome back. Progestogen-only contraceptives like the mini pill and intrauterine devices carry a similar low increased risk for breast cancer as other hormonal contraceptives. That's according to a new study published yesterday in the journal PLOS Medicine. Researchers analyzed data on almost 10,000 women under the age of 50 who were diagnosed with invasive breast cancer. They found that progestogen-only contraceptives, which do not have estrogen, are associated with a 20 to 30% relative risk for breast cancer. That aligns with previous research on combined hormone contraceptives. The study investigated potential links to the disease and does not indicate that hormonal contraceptives cause breast cancer.
Well, the popular LGBTQ+ dating app Grindr is working to combat the spread of HIV. Now, the company is distributing free at-home HIV tests to U.S. users as part of a new public health initiative. Now, the test is now available to order from the app's main menu. You just look for the free HIV home test button and receive an oral quick kit. It's an FDA-approved over-the-counter test that works by swabbing the gums. Now, results take about 20 minutes, and the project is called, quote, Take Me Home.
A new study found that more caffeine in your blood reduces your risk for type 2 diabetes. Researchers from Sweden and the UK used genetic markers to link caffeine levels and body mass index. They looked at how quickly people broke down caffeine in the blood and found that those with more caffeine had lower body fat mass. It's been well documented that the amount of body fat a person carries determines their risk of developing diabetes. Researchers concluded that more caffeine meant lower risk of diabetes. However, they were not able to determine how much caffeine was too much.
Well, the CDC says 2 more deaths have been linked to a rare bacteria found in recalled eye drops. Now it brings the total number of deaths to 3. There have also been cases of vision loss and surgical removal of eyeballs. Global Pharma Healthcare's artificial tears lubricant eye drops were first recalled in February. Now, the product was distributed by EzriCare and Delsum Pharma. The rare strain of drug-resistant bacteria found in the drops had never been reported before in the U.S. The CDC says at least 68 patients in 16 states have been infected.
Heavy rain and an active end of the week on its way, detailing timing and amounts of what could be a very interesting time for us. Some flooding possible. All that ahead after the break.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Emotes say a lot, but they can't say it all.
Think your guildmate is struggling? Try these dialogue options. Go beyond emotes. Check in with your guildmates at seizetheawkward.org.
Every day,
Millions of people are connecting
and even though we're overcoming obstacles, watching each other's backs,
and banding together.
we should still make an effort
We should still make an
to
effort.
get to know each other.
On a deeper level. Father,
Cosplayer,
mentor.
actor.
It's time we take a step forward
It's time we take a step forward. Come together.
and discover
How accepting our differences
can make us stronger.
Good evening and welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm weather forecaster Ryan Hill, and here's how it looks right now. Definitely a lot less spritzy as it was before. Still keep holding on to some of those clouds through our area, as you can see here. But those will continue to stream through. It's been rather dreary out there. So let's face it, that's going to continue. But not all that bad for this time of night, especially on a day in the middle of March. 53 Indianapolis, Muncie, 54 down south in Bloomington and Shelbyville, respectively. And we're actually going to warm up from there. Look at this right here. We start off 53. That's actually our low right now. Isn't it weird? But we actually warm our way up into the 60s by the time we reach the early morning commute. Flip that around, we've got a severe weather threat to talk about first. Overnight, we have plenty of opportunity for heavy rain, maybe some chance for some of those storms to possess a little small to large hail. But on the other hand, the bigger threat will be the rain, and we'll be seeing lots of it through our evening hours. Some heavy stuff in the morning and even some heavy stuff in the evening as we drop temperatures and that drop of that frontal boundary comes right through. You see, as we time this out, things start off pretty heavy with a bang around 3 a.m. and we continue to see waves of activity streaming through. Even through our newscast tomorrow, we'll be seeing some pretty heavy rain, even some pinks indicating some heavier rain, even some rumbles of thunder. Renewed chances of that until we finally wake our way through Friday and clear things out. That's so much rain, actually, that over the next 3 days, and especially as we work our way to our next system, we'll be talking about the renewed threat for flooding. How much rain are we expecting at this point? We could see areas higher than 2 inches, but a widespread 2 straight through Muncie, Winchester, Anderson. We'll have to watch for this flood watch to see if these next tier of counties, including Muncie, gets added to it. Currently, it's from 8 p.m. Thursday, 8 a.m. Saturday. Turn around, don't drown if you see water on those roadways. Keep it tuned here to NLI Weather at Twitter and Facebook, because we will be delivering some updates, as well as the National Weather Service as well, with that active weather. We'll definitely clear things out as we work our way through the rest of the 7-day period. 2 periods where we could see some very active weather, both Thursday and Saturday. But we're getting back to average, some clearer skies. Mr. Golden Sun, please shine down on me. That comes right on our way into Tuesday. And a 54, not too bad at all.
But we're going to have to wait for that. We're going to need that umbrella coming up.
We will, and we'll have to watch those roads. We'll have to be very careful about when we see that activity roll through.
Right. All right. Yep, Ryan, thank you so much. And Ryan, what can we be seeing in sports tonight?
Thanks, Anna. We sit down with one Ball State team following an exceptional MAC performance. Plus, 2 Delaware County stars earn awards. All that and more next in sports.
Here's your sandwich, miss.
Oh, thank you.
And your burger.
Awesome, thank you.
And your bowl of boiling water, sir.
After retiring from the NFL, I've been able to spend a lot more time coaching my daughter's basketball teams. It's something I love to do. Through our games and our tournaments, we see all types of coaching, good and bad. And it begs the question, do we really know who's coaching our kids? Do they have the proper training and screening it would take for me to be comfortable with my daughters playing for that coach? Our Youth Basketball Association made the decision to use trusted coaches to screen and train all of our coaches. I'm a trusted coach. Are you?
So if one cat has 4 kittens who reproduce every 6 months, how many cats will there be in 5 years? Who's got it? Is this... What is that? Seriously? Who threw that?
Cats are terrible at math, but they sure do multiply. Please spay, neuter, and adopt.
The solution is 10.
Welcome back to NewsLink Indiana. I'm Ryan Siraki with sports. Ball State Gymnastics adds more accomplishments to their already impressive season. NewsLink Indiana's Andy Newman sits down with the squad to learn more about their honors at the MAC Championship.
Over the weekend, Ball State Gymnastics took home the hardware at one of the program's most successful MAC championships ever. Junior Victoria Henry captured first place on the vault with a personal best score of 9.950.
It meant a lot. I literally almost went into tears when I landed. I literally was in the crowd. I went, broke my record.
Junior Suki Pfister took home a second consecutive MAC Specialist of the Year award, an honor given to the gymnast who specializes in certain events.
It meant a lot just because I had won it the previous year. I didn't think that they would select me again.
And head coach Joanna Salim took home the MAC Gymnastics Coach of the Year award for the second time in 3 years.
It's definitely a humbling feeling, and you're immensely excited about it. I think to me it's reinforcement of what a great group of people I have around me.
Those personal accomplishments contributed greatly as Ball State Gymnastics earns the runner-up spot at the MAC Championship. Pfister, Henry, and Salim all know that without this special group of gymnasts alongside them, this all wouldn't be possible.
We're very united as a team, and that really helps when we're competing, and we just stay in our own little bubble and we just support each other.
Everyone contributes to the team in their own way, and I think that's what makes this year's team special compared to previous years.
Having that authentic relationship with one another has just been something I have really truly valued with this group.
Now the Cardinals are on their way to the NCAA Regionals for just the second time in program history. The gymnasts know that with the tough competition ahead, they'll need to zone in.
They really are focusing on, hey, what do we need to do this week to prepare for just another competition?
I want to be present in the moment and just enjoy the meet with my teammates.
Perform to our fullest without being scared or nervous. Without the nerves, we can do some damage.
Ball State will hit the floor, the bars, the vault, and the beam next Wednesday, March 29th at the Norman, Oklahoma NCAA Regionals as they take on NC State. In Muncie, Andy Newman, NewsLink, Indiana.
Ball State Gymnastics aren't the only award winners in Delaware County. Muncie Central senior Daniel Harris and Wapahani junior Isaac Andrews earned Indiana Basketball Coaches Association honors. Harris lands as an honorable mention for the Bearcats. The senior finishes his season with averages of 15.8 points per game and 3 rebounds a game. Out in Selma, Andrews was named to the IBCA Underclass Supreme 15 list. The Wapahani junior achieves this honor after a season averaging 18.1 points, 6.5 rebounds, and 4.9 assists a game. Andrews also led Wapahani to a semi-state appearance and a 25-2 overall record. Keeping things on the court, March Madness season is here. With the Sweet 16 less than 24 hours away, the 2023 first and second rounds were nothing short of spectacular. Some highlights included 16-seeded Fairleigh Dickinson shocking number 1 seed Purdue 63-58. Purdue joins the 2018 Virginia squad as the only teams to lose to a 16 seed. Speaking of Virginia, they lose again in the first round on a last-second shot to 13-seeded Furman. And other moments include 15-seeded Princeton shocking Arizona and Missouri to reach the Sweet 16. And before the Sweet 16 tips off tomorrow night, let's take a look at the NewsLink Indiana bracket standings. In first place with 440 points is Lance Huffman. Not far behind there is a 4-way tie with 420 points. The tie includes Zach Jones, Anna Chalker, Colin Williams, and Sam Morris. As the rest of the tournament continues, NewsLink Indiana will continue to keep you updated on who's at the top of the leaderboards. Now, you may be surprised to not see my name up there. We can thank the Duke Blue Devils for that. They lost in the second round. But I want to say congratulations to you. You've seen some success this year.
I'm going to try to get to first place. Don't know much about it. I just am hoping Houston wins.
Yeah, and I didn't fill out a bracket, so maybe we can share yours.
Yep, Ryan, thank you so much. We will have your campus coverage after the break.
And a final look at your forecast.
you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Can you help me?
I got it.
Thank you.
No problem.
Just like the rules to surviving Zombieland, there are steps you can take to be prepared for an emergency.
It's the right thing to do.
Talk with your family to make a plan. Look for safe areas to meet up if separated. And stock up on supplies. It's never too early to get prepared, so start now.
Right now?
Right now. You can't predict emergencies, but you can be ready.
You're welcome, America.
Visit ready.gov today to learn more.
Jordan knows he shouldn't eat this entire bowl of nachos, but tonight he's earned that right. Because a few hours ago, in the middle of happy hour, he recognized a sign. Not from the gods or a bolt of lightning, but from a double heart, a kissy face, and a fourth ha in ha ha ha. That's when Jordan knew he was buzzed. So when it was time to go, he got a ride home instead of driving. Be a legend like Jordan. Recognize your buzzed warning signs and get a ride home. Buzz driving is drunk driving.
Resident assistants from Botsford Swinford Hall held a Women's History event yesterday. The event, titled Women's History with a Mystery, was hosted by Lily Redmond and Carson Fakes. Their goal was to ultimately bring awareness to Women's History Month with students on campus.
The purpose of this event today is to help educate residents on women's history that we have in our background. And we've got a cool, fun setup to do that. We've got cookies and prizes for residents who are participating, and we've got a nice setup to help choose between a few different women that we have in our history.
The students who attended had the opportunity to play a women's history mystery game and eat snacks and win prizes. Botswan's next event is yet to be announced. Now over to Ryan for one final look at weather.
Yeah, we're going to have to monitor conditions real closely and be prepared for adjustments to that flood watch and any additional warnings that could be issued from the National Weather Service. 2 chances Thursday and Saturday, otherwise calming down for a nice end of the 7-day period into the middle of next week. Not bad. What do you think?
Gonna be crazy, gonna need the umbrella, gonna need the rain boots, just making sure that we're weather prepared this entire week.
Ready for summer is what I'm ready for.
I'm ready for a stable season at this point.
Yeah.
That 65 had me wanting to break out the shorts.
Yeah, something like that. A little bit of shorts, maybe a nice lemonade or some cold drinks. But I guess we'll have to deal with the rain for now.
We just hit spring, so just give it a couple weeks, and then I think we'll be back to where we need to be.
Knowing Indiana, you never know.
Maybe an umbrella. Right?
Yeah, Ryan, thank you so much. And that's all tonight for NewsLink Indiana. Be sure to join us again tomorrow night at 9, streaming live on the NewsLink Indiana Facebook page.
And for news anytime, anywhere, go to ballstatedaily.com. Have a great night.